Hello, Aaron here with Grow On. Today I'm back in Benbrook doing a follow-up on this round one treatment we did a few months ago. And when we started, the yard didn't have any, hadn't had any pre-emergent in the fall or anything. My friend just bought this house and there hadn't been done any weed control or anything. And it was real weedy, as you can see in the first video that we shot. And today I just want to walk you around and show you what kind of results we've gotten. This area was full of broadleaf weeds and Poa Annua. You can see some activity in the Poa Annua still dying out here, and the aster weed is dying off. Here's some aster weed here that's dead, and as you can see, it's still very woody. So this aster weed is going to take some time to decompose, unlike a dandelion, which you don't see here. Because they're decomposed already, but this aster weed is going to take some time to completely decompose. So if you have something like that, don't panic. Also have some Dallisgrass here. You can see this Dallisgrass is still green. We've had a mild winter, and since this Bermuda grass is still dormant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here today when I'm done treating the yard, and I'm going to put Roundup on it. So you can put Roundup on your Dallisgrass when it's green, and your Bermuda grass is still dormant. Okay, you can accomplish this in the winter time. Usually in most winters you only have about a 3-week period when after the first freeze, the Bermuda will go dormant and your Dallisgrass will hang on for another week or two. That's your window of opportunity to hit this Dallisgrass with Roundup, and you can get rid of it that way. You do have some potential to damage the grass if the Bermuda isn't fully dormant, but if it's fully dormant, it's not going to hurt it at all. So let's walk over here and see what other kind of results we got. See a lot of dead weeds in the yard. Some more Dallisgrass here along the edge. Again, this yard wasn't maintained very well, and that's why I chose this yard. And I also chose this yard because it's my best friend's house, so he let me do that. So that's why we're using this as our guinea pig, sort of, so we can show everybody what to expect. So after the first application, don't expect 100% weed control. We still have some dandelions here, and here, but we got about 80 to 90% of the broadleaf weeds and winter grass and weeds on the first application. And today what I'm going to apply is another round of spectacle to prevent crabgrass. It's going to be germinating when soil temperature gets about 55-60 degrees. The crabgrass is going to start germinating, and this application is going to prevent that. More broadleaf weeds and some henbit here that didn't get killed off on the first one. That's okay. We're gonna get it today. The grass is really thin. Through here, there's a lot of crabgrass that died off with that first freeze. Dallisgrass is a big problem in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or anywhere where in the South where Dallisgrass will grow. There's just no good weed controls for Dallisgrass. I mean, no selective weed control. So what I mean by selective, it means you can't spray the weed and it die, and your grass won't die. That's selective. There isn't anything like that right now. It's 2020. It's February 20 something, and we did our first application right at the first of the year. I think it was like December 28th. I think we did our first. So let's get started. Today I'm going to spray Spectacle. I'm going to spray Certainty at 1.25 ounces per acre. The vessel and a spreader sticker. And so the spreader sticker just helps the application stick to the weeds in case it rains or whatever. It'll help the weeds die. So let's get started on that. I'm going to put my rubber boots on, and I'm going to put some protective gloves, and I already have my long sleeve shirt and my hat, so I'm good to go. Let's get started. So grow lawn, what we do is we always try to start in the backyard. And the reason for that is I want to pull my hose all the way out so I don't have to fight my hose every time. I'm going to do this little section on the way to the backyard, but as you can see, I've lined my truck up so I can pull my hose right into the backyard. When I get into the backyard, I'm gonna pull the rest of the hose out so I don't have to keep fighting it the whole time. You can see always along the cracks is where those weeds want to germinate, and along these cracks, we have some this right here, this winter grassy weeds. This combination of annual bluegrass and rescue grass. Very difficult to control once they've germinated. You can control them easier by prevention. Take some pictures of all the areas with the Dallisgrass in this yard. As you can see, it's all through here. I mean, there's a lot of Dallisgrass. And I've also, explained to the customer slash my best friend that, you do risk losing some Bermuda grass, but it's worth the risk to me. The Bermuda grass is going to fill in over time with the rhizomes and stolons. And so if you have some Dallisgrass, the best control is with the glyphosate or Roundup. Even if it's in the growing season, just go ahead and do it. Castor weed is a sign of poor soil fertility and also bad cultural practices. I guess if I could make one video and only have one video, it would be cultural practices #1, ugly weeds #2 as far as level of importance. Because all the ugly weeds treatments in the world and weed control and liquid aeration and core aeration and all the stuff that you can add to your program is not going to matter if cultural practices aren't in place first. Program with ugly weeds is, see all these weeds that are growing up in the cracks and crevices? So our technician goes along, and after he's done treating the yard, he goes around and spot treats all that stuff. Eventually Bermuda grass and other type of weeds will grow up in your cracks and potentially crack your driveway. So we just come in and we treat those areas, and after about 2 weeks they should be dead. Like to point out overhanging shrubs, and if you have shrubs or flowers that are overhanging in flower beds, like the edging and stuff, we can't spray. We can only spray so close. So what happens sometimes is you have a shrub that's hanging over. Technician comes, or doesn't say it's maybe it's not ugly weeds, maybe it's some other company, and you prune the shrubs at some point. Well, there was never any weed control put under there, and I see it all the time where, like for instance, this one, I can only get so close because I don't want my product on that shrub, and then the client will have the shrub pruned back, or they'll prune it back themselves, and then they'll get weeds in that little area there, and there's nothing that we can do about it. That's just something to watch out for. So if you see weeds in an area like that, just know that that's a possibility. I'm gonna roll up the hose. Stay tuned. I'm gonna mix up some Roundup. We're gonna treat that Dallisgrass. So what I'm doing is I'm maintaining my foot route. So I'm going up and coming back. And as long as my feet stay in my route, my rule of thumb is I can spray as far out as I want as long as I don't move left or right in my route, in my foot route. let's get a closer look at this. This is an area that's kind of on a slope. So whenever this yard does get water, it all runs away. And then August and September, when it's 1,000,000 degrees in Texas, this area is going to get the hottest. And since the water's running away from it, you can tell it's real thin. And all of this that you see, that maybe little darker colored dormant grass, that's all crabgrass. And so if you took out all the crabgrass, there'd probably be nothing there. So we're going to have to make sure that this area gets more water. And what you're going to do is you're going to cycle soak this area. So we'll do another video on cycle soak irrigation. And I'm just spraying this Dallisgrass to wet. Grassy weeds like Dallisgrass, you're going to need to add a surfactant, because Dallisgrass, and especially crabgrass, is very pubescent, and that pubescence on the leaf, it causes the water to beat up on the plant and run off. So you need something to break up that surface tension, so add a surfactant. You can even use dish soap. Dawn would be the best one to use, or Joy. Growing, so we're going to have to wait till the growing season to get the blue stem with Roundup. Blue stem is the same as Dallisgrass. There's no selective control for blue stem in any kind of lawn, so what we use is Roundup. And then with blue stem, you're going to hit it several times. It might take 2 or 3 times, and then you're going to dig up the plant once it dies, and then you just kind of be patient and see what comes back before you start planting anything else. Because blue stem puts out a lot of seeds, so you want to make sure that you get that area eradicated up the blue stem before you start planting something else. So today I'm almost done spraying all the Dallisgrass. I just have this little section here, and I've used about a half a gallon of product over, again, this is about an 8,000 square foot yard. It's kind of like a corner yard sort of, and again, I've used about a half a gallon. And so what we're going to do is we're really not going to know what kind of control we get and how much damage we've done to the Bermuda grass, if any, until the grass comes out of dormancy. So stay tuned for the results.